This is Van Patrick with the highlights of the Detroit Lions' 1963 season. A season that saw the Lions win 5, lose 8, and tie 1. Lion team that in 1962 had its winningest season, 11-3, and beat the Steelers in the playoff bowl 17-10. The difference, all agree, loss of key personnel and injuries. And how those injuries? Well, let's give a look. The Detroit Lions, determined to better their second-place 62 finish, open hostilities against the Los Angeles Rams in a Saturday night game in the Los Angeles Coliseum. The Rams are trying to fight their way up from the bottom of the Western Conference. Lions stalked the Rams early in the first quarter as Milt Plum hooks up with Gail Cogdell, making the Motor City men 21 yards richer. Detroit lights up the scoreboard with 3 when Wayne Walker boots a tremendous 46-yard field goal. The Lions, a defensive team par excellence, stop the Rams and they are forced to punt. Danny Villanueva's short kick is given a long ride by Tom Watkins. Watkins waylays the Rams as he streaks away on a 53-yard return that sets Detroit up for another score. Danny Lewis gets the call, and he packs the pigskin around right in. Lewis is in for the tally, and the Detroiters hold a 10-0 lead. In the second quarter, Milt Plum tosses to Terry Barr as Detroit moves inside the 5. Detroit settles for a field goal as once again Wayne Walker kicks a 3-pointer. Ram quarterback Terry Baker, the heralded Heisman Trophy winner, is making his professional debut. It's an inauspicious one as Terry's pass is pilfered by Dick LeBeau. LeBeau sets sail with a 70-yard rocket ride. It's 20-0 and the Lions are pulling away. In the third quarter, that great Detroit defense takes the spotlight. On 4th down, Roman Gabriel tries to sweep into the end zone, but the Lions stop him 1 yard short. The Los Angeles defense comes in for its share of plaudits. Lyndon Crow trips up Larry Ferguson for a safety. Down 20-2, the Rams explode on this play. Roman Gabriel drops back to the left, but he's hard-pressed. Gabriel flips to his safety valve, Dick Bass, and the ex-College of the Pacific star is off on a 53-yard trek. On 4th down, Los Angeles is stymied still another time as Sam Williams smothers Gabriel. Once again, the Lions' defense performs to perfection as the third quarter comes to a close. The Ram frustration carries into the final period as Gabriel's aerial is short-circuited by the Detroit Express Dick Night Train Lane. The 12-year NFL veteran hightails it to the 46, and the Lions are on the prowl. For the third time, Wayne Walker puts his foot into a field goal. This one for 34 yards. The Detroit Lions, with a balanced offense, superb defense, crush the Los Angeles Rams 23-2. The Lions' home opener is with the undefeated Chicago Bears. Trailing 35-0 at the end of the half, the Lions come alive in the third quarter. Earl Morrill in at quarterback lets fly with one that makes connections with Terry Barr. Barr romps into pay dirt on a 60-yard touchdown. And the score is Chicago 35, Detroit 7. Later in the quarter, Morrill lifts the Lions' morale sky high as he fires to Gail Cogdell, and Cogdell speeds away on a 67-yard touchdown. Now it's Chicago 35, Detroit 14. In the fourth quarter, with the score 37-14 and time running out, that sensational Morrill to Cogdell combination comes back for another tally on this tremendous 38-yard play. But it's nary enough as the Western Conference leading Chicago Bears keep their record unblemished with a 37-21 triumph. At home again the following week, the Lions beat the San Francisco 49ers big, 26-3. The win featured the punt returns of Tommy Watkins, who streaked to a league record of 184 yards in one game, including this 90-yarder which broke Jack Christensen's team record. The Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions try to break the fourth-place tie in the Western Conference as they collide at Tiger Stadium in Detroit. Both teams have won 2 and lost 4. The Lions roar the first time they get the ball. Tom Watkins races around the right side for a quick 17 yards. Earl Morrall hits Watkins on a short pass, and Tom tears to a first down at midfield. Morrall connects beautifully with Terry Barr on this 35-yard scoring play. Detroit jumps into a 7-0 lead. Fran Tarkington gets the Vikings offense moving with a fast 15-yard completion to Bob Reed. The Vikings run out of gas, but Fred Cox puts them on the scoreboard with a 38-yard field goal. It's now a 7-3 game. Detroit comes charging back following the kickoff. Nick Petrosani takes off on a 14-yard charge down the sideline. The Lions' ground game is red hot today. That's Tom Watkins going for a 12-yard gain. Earl Morrall begins second period play with a running pass to Nick Petrosani. It's good for 18 yards, and Detroit is in scoring position. Petrosani crashes in for the touchdown, and the Lions lead at halftime 14-3. Third quarter action finds the Lions with their backs to the wall. Tom Watkins fumbles, and Steve Stonebreaker recovers for Minnesota. Bill Brown runs into a Lion roadblock, but spins off and streaks 14 yards for the score. The Vikings cut the Lions' lead to 14-10. Detroit threatens later as Earl Morrall's long bomb is caught by Gail Cogdell, despite close Viking coverage for a big 36-yard gain. Morrall hits Terry Barr on the next play. Barr dazzles the Vikings on a 37-yard trip to pay dirt. The Lions have a 21-10 advantage after 3 quarters. In the final period, the Lions call on their infantry. Tom Watkins dodges his way through the Vikings for 27 yards. A little razzle-dazzle adds up to another Detroit first down as Terry Barr carries on a reverse to the Minnesota 35. Tom Watkins, who's having a great day, shakes loose on a 24-yard trip to the Viking 11. Earl Morrall climaxes a big game for the Lions as he completes his 12th pass of the day. Gail Cogdell gets the touchdown, and the Lions get the victory. Detroit defeats Minnesota 28-10 to move into a third-place tie with Baltimore in the West. Anxious to scale the ladder in the Western Conference standings, the Detroit Lions enter San Francisco's Kezar Stadium, seeking their 4th win of the season and their 2nd against the 49ers. Lions of late have really been roaring, but they're muzzled in the first quarter when Earl Morrall's pass is intercepted by Mike Dowdle, giving the 49ers possession deep in Detroit territory. On the next play, Lamar McCann surprises the Lions with a pass. Bernie Casey takes it for the touchdown and a 7-point lead. In the second quarter, veteran Earl Morrall begins to catch fire. Terry Barr makes a terrific reception for a 35-yard gain. Morrill, who at one time belonged to the 49ers, looks for Barr again. Terry outleaps Kermit Alexander to complete another 39-yard play. Morrill and Barr are at their best on the slant end pass pattern. They're in fine form here as the Lions add this TD to a field goal for a 10-7 lead at the half. In the third quarter, Tom Watkins comes back to the weak side and catches the 49ers going the wrong way. Before they can recover, Watkins goes for a 33-yard gain. Watkins started this drive, and he's about to finish it. Tom takes Morrill's swing pass, and over he goes, giving the Lions a 17-7 edge. Detroit dominates third period play. Morrill puts the Lions on the loose again with a 19-yard pass to veteran end Jim Gibbons. Morrill is looking better with every play. Earl arches the ball to Terry Barr for another touchdown as Detroit opens up a 24-7 lead. It's a frustrating day for Lamar McCann as his fourth quarter pass is intercepted by Dick Lane. The night train rattles off a 33-yard return to set up another score. The TD comes when Morrill pegs to Terry Barr. Terry's third touchdown is one of 10 receptions in this game worth 135 yards, and it gives the Lions a 31-7 lead. Detroit is unstoppable, with Earl Morrill enjoying one of the greatest days of his pro career. Dick Compton takes this pass as the Lions roll up the yardage. Tom Watkins stacks up his second touchdown to go with his 107 yards gained on the ground, and the game is out of reach of the 49ers, who trail 38-7. It's a bad day for Lamar McCann as Dick LeBeau picks off this pass and legs it for a 32-yard return. Nick Ryder plunges for the final score. Paced by the passing of Earl Morrill, who hit on 24 of 36 attempts for 330 yards and 4 touchdowns, the Lions, with their top offensive game of the season, 509 yards total offense. Let's pause in the 1963 Lions highlights for this message from Altus Golden Lager Beer, sponsors of the Lions on radio and television.
You join some friends at a tavern. There's beer on draft, so that's what you order, the draft beer. You taste it, and you wish you could get bottled beer that tastes just half as good. Then one day you're looking into a beer cooler and something catches your eye. It's on a bottle of Altus beer. It tells you Foss beer means draft beer. Sounds good. So you buy it. Later you taste the Altus, and you know that you found it.
The closest taste to draft beer taste ever in a bottle or can.
Prove to yourself Altus has draft beer taste. Order a glass of draft beer and a bottle of Altus. Look the other way while a friend switches the glasses around. Taste and compare. And you'll find Altus is smooth like draft beer. Altus goes down easy like draft beer. Altus always leaves room for one more like draft beer. Altus has Foss beer taste.
The closest taste to draft beer taste ever in a bottle or can.
Nearly 60,000 loyal Baltimore fans turn out to watch their Colts battle the Detroit Lions. Memorial Stadium has been the scene of some epic encounters between these two teams, and today could be another. Colts with the ball in the opening quarter. Johnny Unitas gets away and tosses to Jimmy Orr, who fights for additional yardage. Baltimore leads early, 7-0. Baltimore with the ball, and Unitas is in rare form. Johnny sidearms the ball to Jerry Hill, and the Colts are on their way again. From the 25, Jim Martin makes it Colts 10-0. The Lions can go nowhere. Now Baltimore is on the attack. Unitas hits Lenny Moore for a 34-yard gain. With the Lions clawing to get to him, Unitas waits for his receivers to run their patterns, then passes to rookie end John Mackey. John is all by himself as he trots in for a 42-yard touchdown. It's 17-0 Baltimore. Now the Lions must pick themselves up and come from behind. Earl Morrill tosses to Dan Lewis, who drives to a 30-yard gain to close out the fast and furious first quarter. Earl Morrill keeps the drive alive in the second quarter with a 17-yard keeper, and the Lions are threatening. Morrill ignores Ordell Bracey's crashing charge as he passes for Gale Cogdell. Cogdell makes a fine catch, and the Lions are on the board, but the Colts lead 17-7. Baltimore moves right upfield from the kickoff. Lenny Moore makes his way through the Lions on a 17-yard run. Unitas and Berry make a deadly combination. Unitas stumbles, but gets the ball away, and Berry is waiting for it to put Baltimore on the Detroit 27. Unitas hands to Lenny Moore. Lenny refuses to be stopped anywhere short of a touchdown. The Colts score the first 4 times they have the ball to take a 24-7 lead over Detroit. Before the first half is over, the Lions are going all out to catch up. Earl Morrill directs a pass to Terry Barr for a first down on the Baltimore 12. Gino Marchetti comes bursting in on Morrill, but Earl tosses quickly to Dan Lewis, who smashes all the way to the 1. Tom Watkins takes the ball, slants in for the touchdown. At halftime, the Lions have cut the Colt lead to 24-14. Midway in the third quarter, the Lions come alive again. Earl Morrill zips one to Jim Gibbons for a 21-yard gain. Morrill fakes his fullback into the line, passes out to Tom Watkins. Watkins fights his way down the sideline for a first down at the Baltimore 30. From the 10, Morrill and Terry Barr team up on a beautiful touchdown pass play. The Lions close the gap. It's now Baltimore 24, Detroit 21. Late in the game, the Lions bid to rescue a victory. Terry Barr angles into the middle and takes Morrill's pass for a 32-yard gain. Morrill, who is 22 for 34 on the day, retreats to pass again, but the Colts are blitzing, and they lower the boom on Earl, forcing a fumble. Baltimore snuffs out the Lions' threat, and the Colts squeak out a 24-21 victory over Detroit. The second-place Green Bay Packers, in a tight fight with the Bears for the Western Conference crown, are favorites for the annual Turkey Day tussle with the Detroit Lions. But the injured Lions, who may have a lot to say in determining both conference championships, are poised and ready for this game. Defense dominates the opening period, but in the second quarter, Earl Morrill whips up a Lion attack as he pegs to Gale Cogdell for 36 yards. When the Packer defense holds, Detroit calls on Wayne Walker. Walker's 27-yard field goal gives the Lions a 3-0 edge. Packers on offense, and Bart Starr back to pass. Rushed hard, Starr gets off a toss to Ron Kramer. Kramer breaks out of a traffic jam, and he's on his way to a 49-yard gain that terminates inside the Lions' 5. Sharp cross-blocking opens a hole, and Elijah Pitts is through for the touchdown. The extra point is blocked, but the Packers lead 6-3. There's less than a minute and a half left in the first half as Detroit's Earl Morrill goes back to pass. Morrill manages to get the ball to Tom Watkins, who weaves his way for 19 yards. With 11 seconds to go, Wayne Walker delivers with a 37-yard field goal. The score is tied at halftime, 6-6. In the third quarter, the Packers have their backs to the wall. Bart Starr gives them room with a 19-yard completion to Boyd Dowler. The Lion defensive backfield is hurting, and Starr exploits it to the utmost. Bart finds Boyd Dowler, who spins free from his defender. But Night Train Lane catches up to Dowler as the play gains 49 yards. Again, it's Starr to Dowler for another Packer first down as the third quarter comes to a close. Detroit digs in, and the Packers summon Jerry Kramer. But Jerry's field goal attempt is wide, and the game is still a 6-6 standoff. The Packers are pecking away in the final period, and that's Bart Starr passing to Ron Kramer for a first down. Detroit has bottled up the Green Bay ground game, but Starr is finding the airwaves open as he connects with Dowler again. Bart Starr has a hot hand. Starr hits Kramer for a Green Bay touchdown. The Packers lead 13-6. Here come the Lions in a do-or-die drive. Morrill almost pinned, shovels a pass to Nick Petrosani, who makes it to the Packer 35. There are 2 minutes left as Earl Morrill passes from the pocket. Gail Cogdill gets it, and the Lions get 22 yards. Nick Petrosani dives over for a touchdown that completes the scoring. In an upset, Detroit ties Green Bay 13-13. This deadlock ultimately proves fatal to the Packers' quest for a fourth consecutive conference crown. The Cleveland Browns come to Tiger Stadium in Detroit needing a victory to remain in a first-place tie with the New York Giants in the East. In 8 previous meetings with the Lions, the Browns have won only one time, and they have never beaten the Lions in Detroit. On the Lions' opening series of downs, it appears that their mastery over the Browns will continue. Terry Barr tucks in an Earl Morrill pass, and he's off to the races. The play covers 75 yards as no one touches Barr. After one period, it's Detroit 7, Cleveland nothing. Early in the second quarter, Morrill and Barr return to haunt the Browns. Terry runs a perfect slant pattern, grabs the pass, and is all but run out of Tiger Stadium on a 25-yard play. Nick Petrosani's block clears the way for Danny Lewis, and he's in for a score to give Detroit a 14-point advantage. With the Detroit defense keying on Jim Brown, Cleveland calls on Ernie Green, and watch him go. Green, a second-year man from Louisville, is finally overhauled by Dick LeBeau after a 73-yard gain. On 1st and goal, that dynamic Detroit defense doesn't give Jim Brown a chance to get started, and the league's leading rusher is tossed for a 5-yard loss. The best the Browns can do is a 19-yard field goal by Lou Groza, and they still trail the Lions by 14-3. Fighting for their very lives, the desperate Browns surge back with Frank Ryan pacing the attack. Ryan uncorks a tremendous pass that covers some 63 yards. Gary Collins leaps high for a thrilling touchdown. The Browns are back in the ball game as they narrow the lead 14-10. In the third quarter, Earl Morrill, who's having a great year, connects with Gail Cogdill, who shakes off Jim Shopner for a 29-yard TD. It's Lions 21, Cleveland 10. Detroit is dominating the action, and with Morrill completing passes all over the park, things look dark for the Browns. Cogdill carries this one to the Cleveland 17. When the Browns hold, Wayne Walker boots a 23-yard field goal to make the scoreboard read Detroit 24, Cleveland 10. Attempting to play catch-up football, Frank Ryan is caught and thrown by Roger Brown. The ball bounces into the end zone, where Detroit's Darius McCord makes the recovery to put the Lions far in front, 31-10. In the final quarter, Jim Nanowski attempts to rally the Browns, but this just isn't Cleveland's day. Tom Hall intercepts, and it's Detroit's ball on the Cleveland 27. Nick Petrosani tallies the final touchdown, It's a bitter defeat for the Browns as the loss eliminates them from the Eastern Conference race. In winning, Earl Morrall completed 13 of 25 passes for 271 yards and his fifth 250-yard-plus game of the season. After 13 weeks of fierce competition, the championship of the National Football League's Western Conference hinges on the outcome of this game between the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. Wrigley Field is packed to the rafters, and rightly so, for a Chicago victory can bring the Bears their first conference crown since 1956. It's obvious from the outset that the Bears are ready for this one. They storm in on Earl Morrall and force a fumble. The Lions recover, but now they must punt. Earl Morrall booms the ball to the Chicago 22. Billy Martin takes it and eludes 4 Lions with one nifty move. Chicago blockers open the alley, and Martin makes his way down the sideline for 78 yards. But the officials ruled Martin stepped out on the Lions' 40. The Bears accept the decision and go right to work. Billy Wade throws down and out to Johnny Morris for 16 yards. Chicago is stopped at the Detroit 12, but there's no stopping Roger LeClaire, whose perfect placement gives the Bears a 3-0 edge. In the second quarter, the Lions, who knocked Cleveland out of the Eastern race last week, are aiming to do the same thing to the Bears. Terry Barr snags a pass and picks up a first down on the Chicago 8. On the next play, that fabulous Chicago secondary, which leads the league in interceptions, is in action. Roosevelt Taylor makes his biggest interception of the season. This theft slams the door on Detroit and preserves Chicago's slim 3-point lead. But these Lions are hungry, and they're just as tough on defense. Wade's pass is stolen by Larry Vargo, and Vargo is gone. It's 42 yards for a touchdown to give the lead to Detroit 7-3 at the half. In the third quarter, the Bears rebound. Wade completes to Morris on a slant pattern. Johnny gets aid from Mike Ditka, and it's a foot race to the end zone. Morris wins, and the Bears are back in front at 10-7. On the next series of downs, All-Pro in Doug Atkins leads an assault on Earl Morrall, which forces a fumble. Stan Jones recovers on the Detroit 37 as the Chicago defense continues to dominate the game. Almost immediately, Wade comes back with that same slant pass to Morris, and it works for a first down on the Detroit 22. Billy Wade knows that the Lions' secondary is not at full strength. He's passing more than usual, and with spectacular results. Ditka clutches this one for a Chicago touchdown. With a 17-7 lead, the Bears can taste that title. But there's still one quarter to play, and the Lions, with Morrow passing to Nick Petrosani, are not conceding anything. Not even the standout Chicago secondary can shut out the Earl Morrall to Terry Barr combination. Terry takes the ball away from Benny McRae for a first down on the Chicago 20. On a delay handoff, Tom Watkins breaks into the open, and it's goal to go for the Lions at the Chicago 4. On second down, Morrow looks for Terry Barr and finds him in the end zone. The pressure is tremendous as the Lions narrow Chicago's lead to 17-14 with 9.5 minutes to play. There's too much time to try and sit on the lead, and Wade continues his passing attack. Johnny Morris is wide open, and the fleet flanker makes this play work for 38 big yards. On 2nd and 9, the Lions blitz. Larry Vargo pours in to toss Wade for a long loss. Wade fumbles, but the officials ruled that the whistle had blown before the fumble. On 4th down, Wade comes back for more, but so do the Lions. Billy is rushed right off his feet, and Detroit gains possession on the 36 with 3:22 remaining. The delayed handoff to Tom Watkins, which worked so well before, is even better here. Watkins almost goes all the way, but Taylor and McRae saved the day for Chicago. Now it's 4th and 5 on the 27. A field goal could tie, but the Lions must win. Morrall's pass is incomplete, and victory appears to be within the grasp of the Grizzly Bears. With 1 minute to play, Chicago is forced to punt. Despite a tremendous rush, Bobby Joe Green boots a beauty. 52 yards upfield, Tom Watkins makes the catch and almost breaks into the open. Watkins is pinned down on the Detroit 33. This Bear defense, superb all season long, clinches the victory as Dave Witzel makes this clutch interception. Witzel sets sail for the end zone, and that's the ball game. The Lions fought tooth and nail right to the finish in a gallant effort that just wasn't good enough. With this 24-14 victory, the Chicago Bears in the NFL dynasty of the Green Bay Packers. And for the first time since 1956, the Bears are the Western Conference champs. Well, that's it. The 1963 Detroit Lion highlights. The Lions, after their 1962 finish, were supposed to battle the Packers all the way for the title. Yet, because of injuries and the loss of key personnel, ended the season with a record of 5 wins, 8 losses, and 1 tie. But a look on the bright side of the 1963 season saw quarterback Earl Morrall enjoying the best year of his career, gaining 2,621 yards passing and throwing for 24 touchdowns. Terry Barr tied a team pass-catching record of 66 set by Bob Mann and established a yardage mark of 1,086 in addition to being named to the Pro Bowl game along with Yale Cogdell, John Gordy, Roger Brown, Wayne Walker, and of course team captain, the one and only Joe Schmidt. This is Van Patrick, hoping that the year 1964 will see the Lions shake the jinx of injury and return to their winning ways to the top of the Western Conference and the World Championship.